Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. I hope everybody's doing good. I think I jumped on probably about 30 seconds too soon. And I guess I was anxious to get started. Before we start, I just wanted to remind everyone that the sale today for... Hi, Dawn. The stamp sets in the annual catalog, you can find the list right here at the back of the catalog. They're all 15% off today until midnight. So if there's anything in the annual catalog that you wanted, you can get it now at 15% off. Thanks, Dawn. Hi, Sheila. Did you get some rest? So that's just a reminder. The sale goes till midnight Eastern Standard Time. So all the stamp sets in the annual catalog. Unfortunately, these stamp sets are not included because they are in the holiday catalog. And I decided to use Perched in a Tree. I just love this cute little bird. Oh, good. I'm glad. And I decided to use the Ringed with Nature. This set, I was a little up and down with it because I was having a hard time trying to figure out what to create with it because the dies are just very different. If you have this set, it comes with this die here for these circles. You can cut them out individually, but you can also use the embossing folder and the die, and you got to make sure you get them in here correctly. So you would put your paper down and your die, and you could run it through, and it will cut and emboss all your sections. So it was a little bit, like I said, it was a little tough. This one was a little tough for me, but I just love this little bird. And I decided to make cards that could be, hey, Do. Hey, Kathy. Hi, Margaret. I was hoping to make cards that were a little masculine. I showed them to my husband, and he told me they were not masculine. To me, they are. Yeah, the sale is pretty good. So let's get started. I think we'll do this one first because the other card has a little bit of blending in it. So we'll leave that to last. So I'm using Garden Green. I'm using Crumb Cake. The Designer Series paper is Boughs of Holly. This is Soft Suede. Now, on my original card, believe it or not, I used some Pear Pizzazz, and I could not find one scrap of Pear Pizzazz in my craft room, and I don't even have it in my stock. Yes, you did say they were more masculine, Do. So for tonight's card, I'm switching out the Pear Pizzazz for Granny Apple Green. Then I'm using the tailor-made tags. And then for the inside, we're going to put the bird so we can just pull these two cards together a little bit. So let's get started. I only have the two cards tonight because we have had doctor's appointments every single day this week. We even had two today. And unfortunately, tomorrow was supposed to be a day off, and we unexpectedly have another appointment. So just so you know, I'm going to be late with the PDF. So this is Garden Green, and the base is 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5.5. Then Of course, we have to add our layers. So I have a garden green layer, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Then I have a garden green layer, 5 1/4 by 4. And all we're going to do is adhere all these layers together. Yeah, I like green too. One of my favorites. It's usually a go-to color. I should pull, let me see if I have another glue here. I don't think this one is any better. I should just open a new one. Yep. Okay, give me a second, ladies. Let me just open a new one so we don't have to fight with the bottom of the glue. When I do get close to the bottom, though, I do cut my glue bottle open and use a paintbrush to pull the glue out. I get every last drop out of those containers, because it just seems like you use so much glue, so much adhesive. And if you're running short on adhesive, I did put together a essential toolkit. It is, if you go to my blog, it's on the tutorial tab. I put them. I'm selling the adhesive at 15% off the original price. And then there's a few other goodies in the pack. So if you're interested, head on over. Okay, so there is the base of our card. Very simple. Then I grabbed the trees from the boughs of holly. This side is just green, and then this side is the trees. And this is 3 7/8 by 5. And that's going to be our next layer. But before we put that on, we're going to grab a crumb cake layer. And again, this is 5 by 3 7/8. And what we have to do, excuse me, is we have to take this egg dye. It looks like an egg, doesn't it? And get it on this sheet. And look at the tree trunks to make sure you're on here straight. Make sure you get about the same amount of space on each side and top and bottom. And then I like to take a piece of washi tape. Once I think I have it where I want it, I like to put a piece of washi tape just to hold it in place. This way you can go back and forth a time or two. And you're going to die cut the crumb cake layer. So now we have our trees. Hey, Maureen. Hi, how are you, honey? And this is going to be the cover to our designer series paper. So what we're going to do, all I did was I added glue, new glue bottle, ladies, to the corners and up the edge. Just not a lot, because you know what's going to happen. It's going to squeeze out, and I'm going to get glue all over. But I just want to get it on the edges. And then we're going to take this layer and we're going to line it up on our DSP. So we're going to cover that right up. I'm just going to hold it up. Make sure that I don't have any designer series paper showing over the edge. I do right there, just a hair. Let's get that, there it is. Get that moved over. And I didn't even worry about gluing the center. Okay? So now that we have that layer, we're going to take a piece of soft suede, runaway embellishment. And on this soft suede, and I didn't even clean mine yet. I know the 3D bark embossing folder is retired, but it is what I use today. And what I did was I grabbed some early espresso and my blending brush and covered this with early espresso. And instead of laying it this way, I laid it sideways so the lines of the bark would be vertical instead of horizontal. Ran it through my cut and emboss machine, and this is how it came out. Really pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this up onto this layer, and I just didn't adhere this yet because I just wanted to make sure that I cut this layer properly and it is the right size, and it is. So let's pull in our card base. We can now, and you can see it missed the bottom just a little bit. We're just going to adhere this right to the front of the card. So lots of layers. This one we're going to now pop up. Grab some dimensionals. Yeah, I know, Do. I don't know why the camera's been doing that lately. Again, I should go back in and make sure the it's set correctly, because that just started recently, I noticed. All right, so here's our little piece, and this is 1.5 by 5 1/8, and we're going to just put this right over to the side. I think we'll cover up the die cut on this side. We're just going to lay this down just like that, just to cover up half of that piece. Okay, now we're going to grab some of the threaded twine, and I'm just going to get a length and cut it, and we're going to fold it in half, and I'm actually going to attach this to this piece just using some glue dots. Let's see, here's my pokey tool. I just love this one so much. I wish Stampin' Up! Would come back out with it. All right, we're going to go about halfway. And I am going to use a couple glue dots because this twine is pretty thick, and I want to make sure that it really stays down on the front of this card. So we're just going to, again, fold it in half. We want a little bit of a loop at the top, but we want to make sure this is adhered really well. So we'll just push that down just like that. Quick and easy. All right. Now, in the tree ring die set, you'll notice it has all these little twigs with leaves. I took those, I ran them through first in soft suede, just like this, and then I ran them through again. 2 of them in granny apple, or maybe it wasn't 2 in granny apple. Yep, it was 2 in granny apple and 1 in old olive. And what I actually did was, we have the one in soft suede. Here's one in old olive. I actually grabbed my scissors, and each little leaf I ended up just cutting off right where the twig would attach to the leaf. And I cut these leaves off. Just like that. Get that out of the way. Let's grab our glue. Then we're just going to add a little bit of glue to the brown or the soft suede. Let's grab this. And we're going to take these leaves, make sure that they are right side up. And we're going to just adhere them back to their spot. So then we have pretty green leaves. Just make sure this is the right way on our twigs. And as you can see, I did them all. I also did one that has little berries on it. And on this piece, I grabbed the red and green adhesive back pearls. And I'm just going to attach them to these 4 at the top. So these are the only embellishments that are going to be on this card. These little pearls mimicking the berries. Okay, now we can pull our card back in. And we're just going to layer our leaves. Again, the twine is going to be hard to adhere to. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And I am going to pull in some glue dots. And I'm just going to randomly take my twigs and add them to this twine. Well, before we do that though, I did cut out a leaf just to add a little bit of color. You really can't see it, but I know it's there. So let's just add a glue dot and let's get that on the front of the card. And I believe why I did that was just to give me a little bit of a base so I could adhere these a little bit better. All right, so let's just put one there. Let's grab another of the dark leaf. And we'll just move it over a little bit. Then we're going to take this nice big size leaf and we're going to grab a mini dimensional and I'm going to pop this one up. I'll do it on both of the leaves. We want to hide these dimensionals. So I'll put one down here and then I'll put another one right here. And just add this. So all I'm doing is layering. Now we'll take the one with the little embellishments, and we know this is going to go here. So let's just add some glue, and we're going to lay this right here on the top. Oops. Make sure it gets stuck there. And we'll just let that set for a few minutes. I die cut one tag in the garden green. Yeah, the twigs are cool, right? You need glue dots too? And I did one in the basic white. So I'm going to grab my memento. And we are going to hope for the best here. You know what I'm going to do? Let's just for the sake of making sure that I get this on here straight, I did wishing you abundant joy and peace. Let's just put this sticker on so I at least try to get it on there straight, because I did notice that the lines on the stamp itself aren't as straight as they should be, or they could be, I should say. So at least this will help a little bit. Okay. Anything that'll help me get this on here straight. All right, so we're just going to ink this up really good and cross our fingers. Not too bad. It's not perfectly straight. And then we'll just push that aside for a second. Then we're just going to add some glue. And this is such a stark white card. That's why I wanted to back it with a little bit of green. Okay. Now we want this on the front of the card. This layer is up on one dimensional. The twine is about one dimensional deep. And then we have this here. So I'm just going to turn this over and I'm going to grab my dimensionals. Let's use the larger ones. And I am going to pile on 3 dimensionals because I want it to be level on the front of the card. But I want to cover this up too. Okay, that's why I have so many dimensionals. Let's just add some glue to this side. And I want to cover up all this bottom here. So we're just going to lay this down right here. And then make sure it's on there straight, which it isn't. That'll adhere. And then it is straight. I'm just want to make sure I get it on here straight. I put a lot of glue. Okay, so now it's on the front of the card and it's level. Okay. I wanted to hide this little hole here because I didn't want to add any ribbon, trying to keep it a little bit masculine. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue to another twig. And let's just lay this down right on the front. So it just holds right on there with the glue, and it just covers that little spot. And there's the front of our card. Just a little bit more masculine than usual. So for the inside, we have a layer of garden green, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. Now, like I said, I wanted to get these cards so they're almost a pair. So we're going to use the branch from Perched in a Tree. And I'm going to grab some soft suede. Get that out of the way. And we're just going to ink up this branch. Put that at the bottom of the card. Then we're going to grab some memento and this cute little bird and ink him up. Now you got to remember his feet are right about here. One will probably be up in the air. And we're just going to put him right there. So he's off the layer. Grab some seal because I don't want the glue to show through. Layer it down. And then we can add it to the inside of our card. Yeah, it could be a Christmas card, right? All right. That is about the most masculine card I've made in a long time. Thanks, Margaret. Hi, Elizabeth. All right, so let's jump to card number 2. Boy, it's warm in here tonight. I'm surprised because it wasn't that bad out today. Second card. Now this one's a little different. So we're gonna jump back to this piece here. What I did was I grabbed this die and I ran it through with soft suede. Then I loaded crumb cake in here. And I think it's backwards. And then I lined the die up and die cut it and got all these logs. I have a few in here. I saved them all. Now for the soft suede ones, on the ones that I'm using, let's see, which ones did I decide to use? I think I wanted to use this one. And I want to just see the sizes because I'll show you what I was going to do. If you notice, this log here has one little piece that shouldn't really be here. And I am going to just trim this off because I want to see some of the darker bark around this piece. All right, so I just trimmed it. And we're going to use this one. So now it'll fit on here and it'll just have a little bit more bark showing. Before I'm going to use it though, I'm taking some early espresso and I'm just going around the edge. And then I'm just very gently going to rub it on top. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the darker layer. Just want to give it a dark edge. Just like that. And then this piece, we're just going to glue together. And we're going to get this prepped first so we can get that background blended. Now behind this bird is one large log. I'll call it an end of a log. And then this little one is cut off. That's why I want to get this set up beforehand. So this is about the same size, and I'm not going to worry about it because we're going to have to cut some of it off. So I'm going to glue it on so we have an edge of the dark paper showing. And that one I already did blend my color. These we'll put aside for another card. All right, so there are our two little logs. Let's just put those aside. Then we have some leaves that are on this card. And again, it is a die actually from the aspen tree die. It looks just like this. And I die cut one in Granny Apple, and I did one in Old Olive. So what I want to do with this is I'm going to grab some Mossy Meadow, and there is a stamp with some dots on it. To me, it looks like bird seed. I'm sure it can be used for a few different things. And I am just going to ink up, and I'm just going to put some dots on these leaves just to give it a little bit of character. And they're not just one basic color. Okay, so there's our leaves. We're going to grab a piece of basic white, our tree limb again, and our soft suede. And we're going to ink it up, and we're going to stamp our tree limb just like that. The Aspen Dies has the perfect die for this. Now you're going to line it up on your image, and these little holes here, you want to see the lines to the ends of these twigs right through those holes. Again, I like to use a piece of washi tape to hold it in place. Run it through the die cutting machine, and then we get this branch. I want to doll it up a little bit because it's too white for me. So I'm going to take some dark crumb cake, and I'm just going to color over the lines that are already on this stamped image. So we're going to go down the whole thing, and I'm just scribbling a little bit over these lines just to darken them up a little bit. And I'm going to pull my camera down so you can see better. So I'm just going over these lines, adding a shadow. I'm just going to add a little bit here. And then I'm going to take the light crumb cake. I'm just going to extend these lines a little bit, leaving a little bit of white in the center. So it looks like it is highlighted. So I'm just going to go down the whole thing, extending that line or the lines that I just drew, just to add a little bit of color to the branch. So there's our branch. For our little bird, I have her right here. I just want to get my dimensionals out so I know where they are. They don't go walking away. It seems like the last couple days that's what's been happening. I come in my room, I start working, I walk out for a minute and come back and I can't find things. All right, so we're going to use I've been using lots of scraps for these cards. We're just going to ink up this cute little bird. Give her a stamp. which I knew was going to happen. Oh, here she is. And again, there is a die for the little bird. So we're just going to line her up. I like to die cut before I color. Just a little bit of washi tape, run it through, and then we have her right here. And like I said, I like to die cut before I color, because I don't know about you, if you don't use washi tape, sometimes, thanks Kathy, thanks Sheila, sometimes you just cannot get it cut out properly. So instead of ruining a colored image, I like to die cut it first. And all I'm going to do is a quick color. I'm going to start with dark cherry cobbler, and I'm going to hit these nice dark spots on this bird. Right where it's really dark at its bottom, and leave it just like that. Then I'm going to take the dark cherry cobbler, or the light cherry cobbler, sorry, and I'm going to hit under the wing. I'm going to extend this color out. I am going to go around the bottom of the bird, adding a shadow around his belly. I'm going to go scribble some lines right down his neck. And then I'm just going to add some lines here in his wings. Okay. Let's go under his beak a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to jump to, and let me see what I did with it. This is light real red. Where did I put my dark real red? Here it is. So now I'm going to jump to dark real red, and I'm going to extend this color out a little under the wing. And I'm also going to hit these lines where the feathers are. I could get really technical and put lots of feathers in, but we're just going to do it quick and easy for tonight. No need to get crazy, because you can spend lots and lots of time. So all I'm doing is just going over the artist lines with the dark real red up here and just around the eye. Just quick. And then we're going to take the light real red and we're going to fill the rest of the bird in. This time I'm going to use the brush, and we are going to just give it a wash of color. So I'm not scrubbing, I'm just giving it a wash of color. It'll actually lighten the colors that are already there, because there's more alcohol in the light one than there is in the dark. You want to avoid that eye. I'm just going to go around the eye very carefully. I'm going to just turn it so I can follow that line. I'm going to avoid the beak. Okay, so there he is, just really quickly colored up. Now I'm going to grab some dark mango medley, and we're going to fill in his beak. and fill in his legs. Like I said, nothing fancy. Okay. And there's our little bird. I have my trees again, and I didn't even, or my twigs, I didn't even color them, cut them. It's been a long day. Like I said, we had 2 appointments today, and then I had some business type things to take care of in the VA. And tomorrow we have an appointment because the cardiologist is just a little bit concerned about the procedure on Monday and the pressure and that Bill's been feeling in his chest. And he just wants to make sure that his heart is functioning properly so he can go through the procedure on Monday. So we shall see. All right, so I'm doing the same thing that I did on the other card. I just cut those leaves off. Oops. Went over. Got to make sure that the leaves are facing the right direction, because you'll notice that, nope, this way. You can see the embossing. If you look close, you probably can't on the camera, but you can see the embossing on the leaves. So we want to make sure that those leaves are on the right way. So again, we're just going to cut them close to the bottom. We're going to add some glue. And then get these matched up. And that one's wrong. That one goes here. And this one goes here. Now, if you wanted to use these for a fall card, you can always change the leaf color. If you use a yellow or pumpkin pie, you can make pretty autumn leaves. That would be actually pretty. I think that would be pretty. All right, so let's get some glue on here, and then we can get the front of our card done. Got some blending to do. At least all these pieces will be ready to go. Oh, what did I do with that other leaf? Okay. It flew the coop. Oh, here it is. I was going to say the leaf flew the coop. All right. So now we have our twigs ready. Let's put those aside. We got our branch. We got our twig. We have a card base of 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a layer of garden green, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. We have a basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. And then I have a basic white that is 3.5 by 4 3/4. So what we're going to do first is let's get these layers down on the front of our card. Make sure they're on here nice and even. Got a few nice layers. The basic white, I'm actually going to glue on because we will not see this layer. And this is about 1/4 of an inch space on each side. So you just want to make sure that it's on here even. Okay, so that is what we have so far. Let me just move this up just a smidge. It's funny when you see it on the camera, I can see that it's crooked. Hey, Karen, thank you so much. Hey, Tracy. Okay, so let's just put that aside for a second. Let's grab our scrap paper, and this is the small piece of basic white. I'm going to grab some blending brushes. I'm going to grab some Daffodil Delight. I am going to grab some Old Olive. And I am going to grab some soft suede and also some crumb cake. And we're going to start with the yellow. We don't really want much, so we're just going to put some yellow blotches right in the center. Nothing fancy. Then we're going to grab some Old Olive. And again, it's not going to come out like the other one did. Very rarely do your things come out the same way twice. And we are going to add some of this green around this yellow. And we'll come back to the yellow just to fill in some space. And the background doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. It could be the sun shining through. It could be trees behind. Okay, now we're going to grab some crumb cake, and I don't have a brown, a blending brush for my brown, so that's why I'm going to use this. And we're just going to go around the outside with a little bit of crumb cake, and then I'm going to grab some soft suede. And we're going to blend some soft suede right around the outside of this layer. Very quick. We're going to go back to our green. Now that we have that nice dark color on there, let's grab our green and let's just blend this in. Actually, you know what? Let's do the yellow first so we get an idea, because that's our lightest color. So let's get some yellow in here. Now we can grab our green and just blend it out. Now if you want it more brown, you can go back to your brown. If you want more yellow, you can add more yellow. And I think I will use this side and cover this up with the bird. All right, so before we do anything, let's get these logs on. Here's our one log, and we're going to lay it right here. So we're just going to add some glue. I'm going to move it right over, just like that. Okay. Now for this one, I am going to pop this one up. Let me just grab my cutter. I want to cut some of this off. And we're going to lay this down right about there. So let's grab some dimensionals. No, hun. It's the same dimensions, I believe. I believe. I think it looks off because this layer's not on here yet. That could be why. All right, so let's just grab this and add this right to the edge of the card, just like that. Because we want that popped up a little. And I'm going to just trim this a little bit. All right, so there we have the base of our card so far. We want to make sure that our branch, we're going to tuck it under, but I am going to pop it up onto this piece. So we're going to grab some dimensionals, and I'm using the minis. So we'll add 3 of these so we have, so it doesn't sag in the center. And we're going to tuck this under because we want it to stay on the whole layer. So we're just going to put this in here just like that. Before I stick this down here completely, let's grab the dark bunch of leaves, and we're just going to dot some glue on the back. I just want to add little dots. So it doesn't squeeze out along the sides, but we have it fixed down to the page. So we're just going to take this and tuck it under that branch. Now we can lay it down. So we're going to just make sure that is affixed. Now we're going to turn this one the opposite way so the fatter end is towards the bottom. And we're just going to add some glue, and I'm just going to put it on here randomly, hoping that where I put it, it catches the branch. So I'm just going to add some glue. And then we're just going to adhere this right there. Okay. Now let's grab our little pieces of tree branch. And we're just going to tuck this under these little wood pieces. So I'm just going to add some glue and tuck them under. And then I want to save one so we can have one coming up at the branch. But we're going to take another one and tuck it right under here. Just like that. let's just pull in our base. And I am going to add a little bit of glue, and we're going to get this set to the front of the card. Okay. So let's grab our little bird. We want this to pop up onto the front. So I'm gonna add my dimensionals right down the center, and then one right about there. Pull our card in, and we're gonna set him right about there. Looks good. Let's grab this last little branch. I'm going to hold that off for a little bit. Let's grab a piece of scrap paper. And then I have Get Well Soon. And the Get Well Soon is from the Ringed with Nature stamp set. So we're just going to stamp it in Memento. I'm going to grab my classic label punch. I know it's retired. I'm sorry, but I love this punch. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the garden green. And I just want to add a bit of glue. Whoops. Flipped right over. Let's see if I can get this to work now. I'll do it the opposite way. You know what? I'm going to do another one. Let me clip another one where it flipped upside down. Crazy. All right. So I want the glue to be up top. Let's hold on to it this time so we can offset it, and the green is coming out the bottom. So we want to make sure that's even. Thank goodness for glue, right? Just like that. And there is our Get Well Soon. Let's grab some of that twine. And we'll cut a length of twine here. And instead of doing my usual trick, all I did was tied a bow. This twine is so thick, it's just a little bit difficult to keep wrapping around your fingers. So it was just easier to create a little bow, just like you're tying your shoes. Make sure my loops are about the same size. Here's my scissors. Let's trim these little tails. Pull in our card. So let's grab our twig. Hello, hello. How are you? I can't see your name, and I'm glad you popped in. All right, so we're just going to tuck that one under there. We're going to grab our Get Well Soon. And let's just add some dimensionals. Medicine, you don't have to send a message. Bill's already in bed, dude. And we're just going to add it right down here. I'll lift it so it's underneath the leaves, and that's crooked. So let's get that on there straight. And grab a glue dot. Oh my goodness, my glue dots are done. All right, let's grab a new one. Again, you may want to use more than one glue dot on this twine because it is pretty heavy. I'm going to grab two. And we're going to add that just like that. Easy peasy, right? So, I was very undecided about what to do to the inside of this card. It's been one of those days. So we're going to just grab our scrap piece of paper. I am going to grab one of the leaves from the Ringed with Nature stamp set and the old olive. I'm going to turn this sideways. I know it has to go landscape. I have a mark. I'm going to turn this way to cover that. But I want to just make sure I get my leaves on here right. So we're just going to put a border of leaves down the side, just seeing how they'll fit. Just quick and easy. Just so there's something on the inside of the card. Hi, Florence. Nan, how are you? We were talking about you the other day. All good, of course. And let's just add some glue. And add this to the center of the card. All right, very disorganized tonight. So there is that card. And here is the first card. So I hope you enjoyed these tonight. Oh, good. I'm so glad you guys are doing good. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks, Kathy. We're hanging in there. I'll call you, Nan. I'll call you next week after Monday's procedure. So there are tonight's cards. Like I said, I'm going to try right now to get the PDF done, but I don't really think I'm going to be able to. So it'll be probably later in the afternoon. Our appointment is at 9:45. I have to leave here probably about 8. Oh, you are so welcome, Dawn. And the test is could be up to 5 hours long. So that puts me way late in the afternoon. So it'll be done. I'm just not sure when. So I'll let you know. And I will be picking a winner for tonight's, for you coming in and joining me and keeping me company tonight. I'll get the name posted by tomorrow. So enjoy your night. And while I figured about it, Saturday, I will not be doing my Saturday video. I will do it on Sunday. We have one more bucket list trip, and that's to the beach. And we're going to do that on Saturday. So what I'll do is on Sunday, thank you so much, Kathy. So on Sunday, what I'll be doing, thank you, Sheila. I'll do my Simple Saturday and my Stepped Up Sunday card on Sunday. So it'll be an extended video. You are so welcome, everybody. So I'll talk to everybody on, we will, thank you. 11 o'clock. I'll do the same 11 o'clock on Sunday, but I'll do both cards instead of one. So it'll be a little added bonus. And I'll see you Sunday. Thanks for joining me, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.